Next, Sutton. And that big receiver, Cortland Sutton, who's really put together 6'4", 216.
We like to disguise coverages.
Osai was late getting on the field. Next throws. He's got his tight end. Next throw. And a big play for Adam Troutman as he takes it. Want to stay on the ground. They do with Dobbins, and he's down to the 6. And 5.
I do think, Joe, for this game,
Nix wants it on the ground. Touchdown, Denver. Nothing there through the air. So on the ground goes Bo Nix to put his Broncos on top.
Oh, that's who that is, Bo Nix.
2 0-3 teams meeting, the Jets and the Dolphins. It's second down and 9 here for Cincinnati, and this is Gesicki, who hasn't been used very much. Third down and 20. Browning over the middle, Chase, long way to go. Jamal.
You don't want to ever
miles at midfield. Fourth down. And he has a rushing touchdown. That 6-yard carry for the only touchdown of the night. Here's Mims. They get it in his hands, and he gets 10 plus. Flag on the play. Catch is made by Sutton. Able to get around Cam Taylor.
You don't want to.
Third down at 4.
Never say never.
Throws, completes. Sutton. Spun down inside the 20. And that's 4 straight third down conversions by the Broncos. Signed a 4-year extension in July. Broncos turn around and extended 2 more. Here's Mims. Touchdown, Broncos.
Broncos got in that ass today.
They'll head back to work, and the hill is a little bit steeper. Marvin Mims turned on the Jets, stayed in bounds. Second rushing touchdown. We're now third down and 10. Browning out to his right. Flag on the play. And the pass incomplete. Pressure by Jonathan Cooper.
but it's all hands on deck now with Burrow sidelined.
Here's Dobbins. What a good run. There was nothing there
with his injury history.
He's torn his ACL. He's torn his Achilles. He's also got a first down here. Ran into his teammate. That was Palczewski.
Another year to his injury. He wants that 100-yard game.
Lisa Banks, he's on his way. Here's a nice throw and a catch by Franklin.
Cincinnati, I don't like it.
Getting it on a direct snap. Bouncing it. And what a strong tackle by Dax Hill. Out to his right, looking for somewhere to go. And it's picked. Intercepted by Demetrius Knight. This Knight, his first career pick. Did he catch it?
Yeah, he caught
Looked like he did. No. Looked like he did. Either way, it's a stop on fourth down. It's Cincinnati's ball down 14-3.
Really good catch by Demetrius Knight.
Here's Chase Brown. Cincinnati has 2 timeouts and just under 2 to go. Pressure off the edge. Browning is down. It's Cooper. Next, flag on the play. Pass caught by Franklin. Bengals have 2 timeouts. Here's a completion. That's Mims. What a throw and catch. On third down and 2. It's end zone. Sutton. He's got it. Touchdown, Denver. What a catch.
The release by Sutton off the ball, he widens it, so he gets away from the safety. Nix is not worried about him beating Dax Hill. He's worried about beating the safety Jordan Battle with the football. But because of the release, he gives himself some distance away from Battle, and then you just got to drive it in there, which is what he did.
Get up to 22 hours of battery life with Snapdragon.
You know they gonna copyright that. Shit.
Act now to get $7,500 EV lease incentive.
I was on the hunt for the best meat and the best prices, and I found them here at Acme Fresh Market. They have the highest quality, best tasting meats like certified Angus beef and Gerber Amish Farm chicken, and Acme cuts it fresh daily.
This week at Acme, get Bob Evans breakfast sausage for just $2.99 each. See acmestores.com for more savings.
I choose Acme Fresh Market every time. Huge savings, have your shopping.
He had a long college career, ended at Oregon. Here he is out to his left, has to throw against his body, looking for Ingram, and it's not there. Handoff is to Perine, and he's going to be wrapped up 2 yards short of a first down.
Nobody in the middle of the field.
Broncos showing pressure, and Browning gets hit. Ball is out, and they're calling it an incomplete pass as Benito got some dirt with a nice debut as a starter. Here's Dobbins. Dolphins win their first of the year, beat the Jets 27-21. Harvey, nice catch. And still rolling. First down, catch and run by R.J. Harvey. Including that one to bring up 3rd and 14. Here's Mims. Good job to avoid a tackle and then thrown to the ground by Geno Stone. Chase, no catches on the last 4 possessions. Browning's got to find him. Instead, he's able to complete to Yosivas. Bengals' biggest gain of the night, 22 yards on that completion. There's Chase, nice catch. There have been 10 accepted penalties against the Bengals, 1st and 20 as a result. Browning is sacked by Bonito. Browning has to step through and then throw it away. JFM, as they call him, should have a nice day.
Well, you look at the coverage, there's 2 receivers there. The same thing on the opposite side. There was just nowhere to go with the football. You see everyone they're running underneath. They got safety help over the top. No separation.
Second hit all of them. 2nd down and 7. Pass is caught. And a nice tackle with a first down, I believe, by Nate Atkins, who's in his 2nd game back after surgery. Nix has hit 9 different receivers now as he finds his buddy Franklin. And Troy with a catch and run and a first down for Denver.
Running the football tonight.
Last play of the quarter. Harvey out of the backfield. Another first down. The numbers for Nix are good, but they could be better. 4 drops tonight on the Broncos, and that was won by Franklin. Here's England.
Coming off that game last week.
Jake Browning facing a 4-man rush. This is Brown underneath, catching a first down. And they're right on their season average for rush yards in the game. 48. A sack by John Franklin Myers.
4, and that's a good example as to why.
Went right through the rookie Jalen Rivers. 3rd down and 16. Ryan, the target incomplete. As the Bears blocked a field goal try at the end of the ball game to win that one. Here's Dobbins over the right side. The Bears now won 2 in a row, so good for Ben Johnson. 3rd down and 1. Nix out to his right. Spinning catch by Mims. And a first down for Denver. Just to put names to the injuries for the Ravens yesterday. 15 yards away from 100 yards is Dobbins. How many is that, Speedo?
I don't know if he thought he'd get it on 16 carries. That's a pretty healthy average.
There's Harvey. All alone, touchdown Broncos.
He's got to cover the back, and he comes on the blitz, and Harvey, he leaks out, and that's the kind you like to throw as a quarterback.
Higgins will get it. Brought down by Singleton. The name for the injury doesn't really give you an idea of how serious it is. Tearing those ligaments underneath as both teams walk out of here 2-2. For our entire crew, Lisa Salter, Laura Rutledge, Troy Aikman, Steve Ackles, Hardy Kemner, so many more. Final score 28-3.
Stories come about how the Dallas game was played.
What it do, YouTube?
All right, T-Move gang. What up, T-Move?
Coming back in town.
I'm about to go to sleep, dog. Let me put your mic back on. For some reason, I got off here, all the miles was off. I don't know why all the miles was off. But man, I'm laying down right now.
No, chat. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers low-key own the Eagles. I'm not lying. I'm not lying. These past weeks, they low-key own.
What's up with you though, man? What's good with you?
You know, like, no matter what you do, if you put it on the internet, someone's gonna hate it. Like, no matter what, someone's gonna hate it. But it's fine. Like, I get to have fun. Like, I'm here, and I get...
Damn, she cheated on her husband. That's crazy, dog. Shh. These bitches anyway.
Maybe?
What up, T-Move?
No, I just go by Victoria.
No, VAKR. It's the OGC Rapper-based drum. Take that.
No, dog, it ain't that. It's when everybody's mod was off when I came back in, so I had to remod everybody. It ain't got nothing to do with nothing. Everybody's mod was off, man.
Salted caramel toffee iced coffee with cold foam for only $2.99. It's the fancy.
You know, since you know.
Look, I don't believe a man should kiss and tell. I don't believe in that. However, if I was to marry a woman and a side piece, the dude that she's cheating on me with, was to come and tell me, yo, Q, yo, I've been smashing shorty. Matter of fact, I even smashed her the night of your wedding. I ain't gonna lie to you, man. I'll be thankful because I will look at that as a blessing from above. Let's look at this video.
That's what's up, T-Move.
You are a fucking cheater.
Are you literally gonna let that happen?
Look what you did to him. You just married him. You fucked me on your goddamn wedding week. You are disgusting. Oh, you didn't fuck at your Aunt Jill's house, was it? I have proof. I have text messages. I have proof. If you lay a finger on me, you're going to jail. Okay? You are disgusting. Gabby Setterfeld, or whatever the fuck your real name is. Just wait until I call your work and let them know what the fuck you do. You're disgusting. Milton, Canada. Gabby Setterfeld. Let me fuck this shit.
Shit, I don't know, man. It's late, man. I don't know where they at. You know they come in and out of here when they want to. I don't know where they at.
In his feelings.
I don't know where these hoes at, man.
He's doing a good deed because the husband needs to know the truth. But look at this, though. Look how crazy this is. After a side dude exposed her, she looked at her husband like, yo, so you're not going to do nothing? Look at this.
Do not touch me or you'll be going to the police. You are a fucking cheater.
Are you literally gonna let that happen?
Look.
Yo, nah, bro.
Are you literally gonna let that happen?
Look what you fucking cheater.
Are you literally gonna let that happen?
Look what you did.
Damn, son, that's cold, bro.
Wow.
That is cold.
That is cold.
She's getting exposed as a whole cheater, but she's looking at her husband like, yo, you not gonna do nothing? Yo, nah, man. That's cold-blooded, fam.
Gabby said, Joe, let me fuck it.
I hear it's cold.
What the fuck you do? We're just wait until I call your work and let them know what the fuck you did. We're disgusting.
This is her husband right here, bro. Bro, you say,
That's cold.
why are you on the phone? It's time to walk. Yo, if the side dude shows you the proof, it's nothing to talk about, fam. It's time to pack it up and walk away. But just the way how she looked at her husband and said, you're not going to do nothing, she knows her husband is not going to leave her, man. This right here is crazy. This is wild. Let's look at the comments, man. Let's see what the people are saying about this.
Hey, it is
This
wild.
right here is just wild. All right, let's get into some comments, man. So someone says, and Jill looking at all the furniture in her house. That's crazy. Someone says, I've never seen this from a guy's point of view. Yeah, but you gotta look at the good in this. Because obviously her side piece is in his feelings, but he's also doing a good deed. He's doing the right thing. Okay? Someone else says, why is some of y'all focused on his feelings and the job comments? She cheated on her husband should be the main focal point. Facts. All the females defending her is wild. Wow. She said to her, I swear to God. Wow, and Jill knows Gabby. This is exactly what I'm saying right here. Husband should be thankful for a dude to come tell him, I don't want to know as well. And that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. So it's kind of like a catch, like 22 situation, right? It's like a catch 22 because in a sense, you don't believe in kissing and telling, but you would want a man to let you know as well. You would want to know the truth. You don't want to be in the dark, and especially the fact that she smashed that dude on your wedding day. That's cold-blooded. Yeah, this is the part that took me out. The husband not even acknowledging the situation. Poor dude, he's hurt. That man is faking the phone. He's like, he just don't know what to do. Yo, that's crazy though, bro. That is cold-blooded. And you know the guy is telling the truth just by the wife body language. Just the way she's acting, because she's trying her best to deny it. But if you look at her body language, and you can tell, he did crack on her couch, on her auntie's couch.
Man.
That's cold, bro. And this is why, as a man, you gotta observe your girl. You gotta pay attention to her mother, her family. You gotta pay attention to all these things. If a circle is filled with promiscuous women,
Thanks to this waterfront hotel on Booking.com, even Yankees fans are loving Boston.
Oh, no, we're keeping tabs on our rivals.
With so many choices, you can be a fan of any U.S. city. Booking.com, Booking.yeah.
This isn't just a host.
she's the same, bro. She's the same. Her auntie's crib is the crib that she brings a side dude at. That's cold. Someone says, well, this is a woman. She goes, his feeling were so hurt, he caught big feelings for her. Now he did, but it happens, you know? It happens. She said, are you gonna let that happen to the man she cheated on? That is cold-blooded, fam. And Jill right now is cracking up. Yeah, and Jill's with the shits. It's a bunch of cheaters in this comment section. That's a fact. Y'all are really trying to justify this. Y'all amaze me. Yo, people actually taking her side. You know, just taking her side. Why would she do that to? Why would she do that at Ann's Jill house? Yeah, nah, this right here is cold-blooded, bro. Well, the shortest marriage is on record, I'm sure. Okay, there go this chick right here. She goes, when the men are the cheaters, everyone seems okay with the consequences. I don't know why some of your girls in the comments are acting like she doesn't deserve everything that's coming her way. She deserves everything. She needs to keep her hands to herself also. Facts. Someone says, bro sounds like he's in love with a married woman. It's not a matter of being in love. It's a matter of doing what's right consciously. Because think about it, right? You smashing a chick and you watch her marry a dude like nothing never happened. Okay. So I think something sparked that dude in his heart to do the right thing. So you can't really hate on a man who decided to do the right thing, man. Someone says, and Jill holds all the family secrets. She needs to give us a story time. Someone says, you'll keep the same energy when the woman gets cheated on. Props to the side piece. Now, if this was a man getting caught doing this, especially finding out the double life, this man's life will be exposed to the world. She was wrong. End of story. Yes, absolutely. He knew she had a husband, though. Feelings still got involved. Oof. I mean, listen, man. His feelings got involved, but he did bring it to the husband. You gotta respect that, because he came to the husband on some, yo, bro, man to man, this is the type of woman that you marry. You can't really be mad at that, man, because he really did a good deed. He's looking out for bro. I know you love her, bro, but she's not wifey material. She's a bird. Whether or not he's in his feelings, that action was a good action, man. He mad she got married. No, he mad because she's a bird and she's willing to take advantage of a good man. So he's doing something good by exposing the type of woman that she is. He's low-key crashing out. Nah, he's just exposing. Someone says he fell in love. Oh, OMG, I can't believe how all the girls is reacting in the comments. He cheated the week of her wedding. What's wrong with y'all? Facts, man. Listen, man, we are in 2025, bro. We are in 2025, man. These women, bro, that's all I gotta say, bro. These women are on a completely different type of time. Mm-hmm. Someone says he had to come clean and blame it all on her because he had nothing to lose, but she had everything to lose. I mean, look, you gotta understand, fam. She's sneaking with this side dude, right? And when she's with the side dude, I'm pretty sure she's telling him, oh, I love you, this, that, and the other. She's playing with the side dude emotions. So he's like, all right. And then she's pretty lying to him, like, yo, I don't care about my boyfriend and all that. Screw my boyfriend. And then he looked up, he's like, wait, hold on. You wanna marry this dude? And you've been telling me this dude ain't shit and all this and all that. So then he's like, you know what? This don't sit right on my conscience. I gotta do something about it. And this is what he decided to do. Nothing is wrong with that. Someone says he must have been in love with her with all the jealousy. Man, focus on the fact that she is cheating on her husband. Do not ever go to a place of business thinking you're going to expose one of our employees for cheating. As long as they are doing their job, we don't care. Man, cheating is one thing, not good, obviously, but on your wedding week, yeah, on your wedding week is dirty. That ass crazy. I would never forgive a soul. These women are disrespectful, bro. This one chick said, oh, he's hurt. You know she's a bird. Milton, you're up the street from my ups. Don't wake him up with all this ruckus. Yeah, this right here is wild, man. Someone says, what does her job have to do with anything? He was hurt to do it. Damn, you hear how these women are sounding? That cat was good cause, he ready to risk it. Yo, just look at the mindset of these women, bro. These women are low-key defending her actions. They laughing at him. Ooh, he was calling her mom. Yo. It's wild out here, man. Look, fellas, be careful out here, bro. Be careful out here. I know when to walk away. And again, I think her side piece did a good deed for her newly husband. Now, it seems like her husband is probably going to stay with her, but he knows the truth. He knows the type of woman that he married. So that's on him. Once you let a man know the truth, you did your job. And that's the most you could do. Fellas, be wise out here, man, and stay sucker free. Stay sucker free.
If you haven't yet, go get you some of that merch. You all already know. Don't feed the birds. That's what it is. We don't feed the birds over here. So if you rock with your boy, go get you some of that good merch.
Hi, it's Sophia Organa. I'm here because I want to tell you about my new favorite thing. No, it's not cake. I know, shocking, right? It's actually Royal Kingdom, the new puzzle game from the makers of Royal Match. The cake is a close second. You know why I love cake? It's sweet, satisfying, and never gets old. That's exactly how I feel about Royal Kingdom. It's the kind of game you just can't put down. It's fun, it's challenging, and it always leaves you wanting more. And you know what makes it even better? There are no ads to interrupt my fun, and you don't even need Wi-Fi to play. So whether I'm playing in bed, on the couch, or in the kitchen with the cake, I'm covered. Cake, Royal Kingdom, a match made in heaven. Honestly, I'm living my best life over here. But if you excuse me, I've got a game to get back to. And before, maybe I'm just gonna take one more bite.
Lowering bad cholesterol can be hard, even with a statin. Diets and exercise add to the struggle. The effort can feel overwhelming. But today, it's possible to go from struggle to cholesterol success with Leqvio. Leqvio works with your liver's natural process to remove bad cholesterol from your blood. Taken with a statin, Leqvio is proven to lower bad cholesterol by 50%. So, if you feel like you're getting nowhere, go with 2 doses a year of Leqvio and keep bad cholesterol low. Do not use if you've had an allergic reaction to Leqvio or any of its ingredients. Common side effects were injection site reaction, including pain, redness and rash, joint pain, and chest colds. Talk to your doctor about twice yearly Leqvio to help you lower your bad cholesterol. Lower, longer Leqvio.
I went to college at Northern Kentucky University, and although I dropped out, I spent a couple years there. I'd enjoy going to some of the basketball games, but what we were missing was a football team, so I'm starting one. I used to have to cross the Ohio River into Cincinnati to see some football, but now I've brought it over to the Kentucky side. And I will take this new program all the way from the bottom of college football up to the top. For this rebuild, though, I want to do something different. So I'll have full control of building this roster like a coach, but I'll have to spectate the games instead of play. I also want to recruit pretty regionally, meaning Ohio, Kentucky, and Indiana are going to get a lot of my attention. And then being the new D1 school, Conference USA was the only one that accepted us. For our first season, we basically just built a team of FCS transfers with Andre Johnson, the sophomore tight end, being our best one. Then redshirt junior Austin Travers is going to be our starting quarterback, but if we go in and look at his stats, you're going to see he has 60 speed, and his best throwing accuracy is deep accuracy, but he can't hit his short throws. I've already decided I'm sick of him, so Bobby Schmurmer, he reminds me of Bobby Schmurda. He is going to be the gym 3-star that we're going after. 86 throw power, not really accurate either. But I still think he could be good for us. Then out of Frankfort, Kentucky, using those regional pipelines, we're going to go after another 3-star gym. This kid could be a good receiver, could be a good tight end. I've put some 4-stars on our board as well, even recruiting out of Tennessee. We have a good pipeline there too. We're just trying to stay in the region. Our first game is going to be going across the Ohio River at Cincinnati. If anybody will be our main rival, this is it. I watched a lot of college games at Nippert Stadium whenever I attended Northern Kentucky University. And that was when the Bearcats were good, when they went undefeated in the regular season. So I saw a lot of teams get embarrassed, like what's happening here. It has not been a fun one for fans of the Norse to watch. Northern Kentucky's only been able to score 7, giving up 49. And before this one even ended, it got worse for us. With Austin Travers going 8 for 27. Yes, 8 for 27, 3 interceptions. You can see why I want to move on from him. And as this season goes on, he will still have an opportunity to bounce back from that, playing against some weaker schools in Conference USA. But I have a feeling that we might go winless this entire season. Still, though, we have to see what happens in our home opener against New Mexico State. We're going to get to play in Highland Heights at our home stadium. This stadium is named after former NKU president James Votruba. He unfortunately passed away this summer, so we wanted to respect him by having the stadium named after him. And over on the sideline, I'm getting ready for this game against New Mexico State, where we can't fumble the ball like this again. Something needed to change offensively in this matchup, so I brought out my favorite formation, Wildcat. It did us no good. We just got stopped on a 4th and 3. We have scored 3 points. This team is just no good. I simply had to accept that we were going to get embarrassed in front of our home fans, even though they showed out. And it's such a shame, because look at this on-campus stadium, man. It's beautiful. We had all of these fans packed out for this game. I was not expecting this type of show out for our first game as a program, but they clearly wanted to see if we had anything to offer. As this season goes on, I'm sure things are only going to get worse for the Norse. But one thing we are going to be able to do is get some of these 4-stars on a visit pretty soon and hard sell on them, but it's going to be a visit during a bye week because I don't think we win a game. Now, I am fully aware that after this season, stuff like brain exposure is going to fall a lot because we're in Conference USA, the worst conference we could be in besides maybe the MAC. So I'm not sure if they're even going to be impressed with our campus when they step foot on it, but we signed Sean DeVry, our first 3-star gem. When sitting here building out our board too, I'm trying really hard to find guys that care about stuff like proximity to home, because if we don't, then they're most likely going to transfer. That number of players isn't as high as you might think it would be though, which is why eventually we have to add players to our board that care about playing time. I don't like doing that because even though we're awful, we have to guarantee that they're going to see the field. I can do that for Tyrone Westfall. The 4-star decided that despite us starting 0-5 without winning any of these games. He wants to give Northern Kentucky a chance. That was an unbelievable poll. Apparently he wanted to get out of Memphis, Tennessee. For some of the other 4-stars on our board, I don't know if we're going to be able to close out these battles. We'd be spending like all of our NIL budget on just a few guys. And I can guarantee you will not get excited about Kelvin Thomas, the receiver out of Louisville, Kentucky, where I'm living, because he only has 82 speed. Ultimately, you have to start looking around for some 2-stars. And Mafa Ayu, the weirdest name I think I've ever seen out of Louisville, has 92 throw power and way better throwing stats than what we'd be getting out of Bobby Schmerler. We've almost won the battle for him, but he is a deal breaker because he is currently scared to compete for playing time with the 2-star from Kentucky. So that lets me know this is who we need to target. That was a discovery I was not expecting while trying to get through the rest of the first season. And how on earth have we been able to get a second 4-star to come up to Northern Kentucky? Listen, I love living in this great state, but convincing some of these high-profile prospects that they should also live here has been something I didn't think we were going to do. As the year goes on, we signed a 4-star right guard. We obviously have Elijah Addy. We have Tyrone Westfall. And we're not going to get Bobby Schmerler unless no one else pursues it. But if we move past a couple of prospects that we're not going to win out on, there's a lot of other talent that's going to be coming into this north side. Of course, the 2-star quarterback, he is still going to be a big part of this team potentially. And then, of course, a lot of other 2-stars that probably have a pretty low ceiling. With 4 games left in this first season, Louisiana Tech beat us 51-0. We're about to play Western Kentucky, an in-state opponent. We still have to go at Kentucky as well. But there's no hope for us. We're sitting at the bottom of Conference USA below teams like Missouri State and Delaware that just moved up to the FBS level. It's our first year as a program, though, so just give us a break. With a 16-20 loss to Western Kentucky, this could be a team that we beat next season. Now, one thing that will be pretty important is what type of coach I'm going to be. Currently, we're sitting as a recruiter, but I could change up my archetype in the future. I'm not sure how far I want to go down this tree. What I really want to do is become a talent developer, but in order to unlock this, we have to have 2 players drafted in the first round. If we're ever going to produce some first-round players, then guys like Mafa Ayu, the 2-star quarterback, are going to have to develop. We're going to have to somehow convince some players with elite development to commit to the Norse. As you can see, we finished out the season 0-12. There was just nothing to get excited about this year. I knew this was how the first season being an FBS program was going to go. We didn't have a football team until this year, and if we would have won a game, it would have been a shock. That's what we're going to be chasing in season number 2. I also have the opportunity to get some coordinators in here that will help out. We're just building from the ground up, even if it includes signing a lot of 2-stars. For the Heisman Trophy winner, that went to Kevin Jennings. But our punter punted so much that he won the Ray Guy Award. We already have something in our trophy room. He did this as a 1-star, as a 66 overall, with 68 kick power, averaging almost 43 yards per punt. Doesn't make much sense to me, but we'll take it. We have a trophy. For our quarterback situation, Austin Travers, he could have thrown more picks than he did. Clearly, he didn't have a good year, though. Spencer Barkley got injured after averaging 2.6 yards per carry. And I don't think I can sit here and hype up these receivers either, though Andre Johnson, our best player on this team, he only had 1 touchdown. He also loves this team so much that he doesn't have a deal breaker. He's going to be here for all 3 years of his career. His skill caps are uncapped. I just don't know what the computer's going to progress. That's right. On top of doing this on the hardest difficulty, I've decided that I'm just going to let training results be completely auto. The computer can handle it. So these player depth traits matter more than anything else because currently our facilities aren't going to be that good to progress them. We've got impact so far. I want to see elite on at least 1 player, but the 4-star depth traits were really disappointing. But after removing those 2 guys from our board, you're going to see there's not many battles that we've lost out on this year. We just don't have great depth traits. Even our 2-star quarterback is going to be normal development. I think we're just going to have to go hard in the transfer portal. It doesn't even make sense to me that we could get Butch Jones as our OC. But it'd be really nice, and it seems like he wants to help out Northern Kentucky. As for our defensive coordinator, I don't think Levi Kaufman is as exciting, but he's a tactician, so he could help us win a little bit sooner. And that's going to be the final move that we make to conclude this first season. We did have a couple tight ends that wanted to transfer out of our program, but that's basically it for guys that are leaving in the transfer portal. A lot of the guys that are departing from the Norse ended up graduating. They were truly using their scholarship to get their free degree here. Now it's time to enter on the transfer portal and see if there's anybody that would be interested in playing for the Norse. As you can see, a guy like running back CJ Hester out of Cincinnati, Ohio would be a great fit for the program. And since Northern Kentucky is so desperate just to put a decent product out there on the football field next year, we're going after some seniors through the transfer portal with some young guys mixed in as well. CJ Hester, it seems like it's going to be a tough close. And here's the thing, I could always just guess his hard sell, but there's 3 different things it could currently be. So if we get this wrong, then we're not going to win the battle. It turns out we knew exactly what CJ Hester wanted, which is why he's coming to Northern Kentucky. And as insurance, in case we didn't get him, I brought senior running back Dallin Hayden back to the state of Kentucky. We're going to scroll through some of these depth traits. I love seeing star dev on Raylan Wilson. That's a good start to some of these commits, though Bowling Green took away the linebacker. And let's just say it was a good thing that I left Bobby Shermer on our board because nobody else went after him, so he's still committed. He is star development, and he's actually going to be better for us in the future than this 2-star. For our class rank, we've been able to out-recruit every single team in Conference USA, which should show a couple years from now. But look at the overall difference between these 2 quarterbacks. Mafa Ayu comes in as a 77, so he might still start for us this year. Even though Bobby Shermer also cares about playing time, he's a 68. It puts me in a tough spot. At least we know Austin Travers won't be seeing the field. A plus 17 might be the largest I've ever seen, but Finley Alford is still not useful at all. If we go over to these training results, you're going to see Raylan Wilson becomes our best player. Some of our other best players include Dallin Hayden at running back, which kind of takes away the purpose of getting CJ Hester. He's going to have to wait a little bit to get onto the field. And then Carter Bell, the senior receiver, is up to a 78 overall. Andre Johnson's going to be a 75 overall tight end, but for having almost no skill caps, he did not progress the way that I thought he would. Part of that might have to do with my coach abilities, though. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go down the recruiter pathway. So we have 92 skill points to spend, and at least for now, I want to make sure quarterbacks are easier to scout, so are running backs. Then I've decided that we want to become the portal king and have magnetic personality for wide receivers and tight ends. It's just an important position for us to go in. Then if you look at the abilities of some of our coordinators, it covers most of our bases for scouting other positions. I guess we could still scout offensive linemen a little bit quicker. Outside of that, though, I'm not sure what else I really want to spend on. Maybe we get some starting interest from QBs. It's an important position, but I want to spend as little as possible so later down the line we can save up coach points and go down talent development. If I'm going to try and sign 35 players a season, though, it means that I need to have a lot of roster spots available, so I got to cut a lot of players from this team. With this team coming in as a 71 overall, I think we made all of the right decisions. I mean, we took this team to a whole other level. We got some good transfers. The quarterback decision, though, this is what's going to be hard. Bobby Shermer, we don't want to transfer since his accuracy can completely max out. He cares about playing time, but this season, Mafa Ayu gives us a better chance at winning some of these games. His deal breaker's great exposure, so over time, that's going to decrease, and he's going to want to transfer. Plus, he can't get much better. So the idea I'm coming up with in my head is we're just going to switch between the 2 quarterbacks throughout this season, depending on the opponent that we're playing, because obviously, we want to make sure that we win a couple games. We want to make that a reality, but at the same time, we want to develop for our future. I mean, you've seen our schedule. It's not like it's going to be anything too crazy. Looking at the state of Kentucky, there's a couple of prospects we're going to be able to target. I've even decided to be extra bold and throw a 5-star in David Lane on here, though I don't think we're going to be able to sign him. It was just worth a chance. There are some gems like this kid from Indiana or this kid from Hodgenville, Kentucky that I'd like to get, even though he only has 82 speed. You can always move a receiver to tight end, and do we think that we're about to pick up our first win? But before we finish the rest of this video, a word from Rocket Money, today's video sponsor, who has saved me from wasting a ton of money. Last year, after college football ended, I found out I was still being charged every month for a subscription service that I had started all the way back in September. I literally signed up for the free trial. I used it to watch one game, and then I forgot to cancel it, and I would have never known about it if it wasn't for Rocket Money. They are an all-in-one personal finance app that helps you lower bills, cancel subscriptions, and manage your money better. When it comes to canceling unwanted subscriptions, once you connect your bank account, Rocket Money identifies all of your subscriptions on one list. And from there, you can select the ones that you don't want anymore, and Rocket Money may even be able to help you cancel with just a few taps. From personal experience, just being aware of your finances can help you save a ton of money too. Rocket Money has helped its customers save up to $740 a year whenever you're using all of the app's premium features. So why not take control of your finances today? Go to rocketmoney.com/Sporto to get started for free. If you do, you're probably going to be shocked that a subscription or two you had no idea was still active. But now we can go ahead and get back to the rest of this video. Since we're facing facing off against an FCS school? I'd like to think so. On 3rd and 4, though, Bobby Shermer can't find his receiver, which is why we are sending our freshman kicker out there. The kick was almost blocked, but he's going to miss it anyway. Luckily, we've been able to force a 3rd and 18. I'm expecting us to get a sack and get the football back. Damian Shanklin was not going to let that slide. And 1 first down would seal this game. Bobby Shermer took that snap from a very low stance. What I decided as a coach, though, was we are going to have to go for it on 4th and 3. We've taken it down to almost 2 minutes left. And Bobby, you can't run backwards. You can't run backwards. Maybe it was not in our best interest to have him out there. I think we could have done better with the 2-star. Now we're giving them all the time in the world to complete the pass, and NKU might not win. I really believe this was going to be our first one of the season, unless it's not over yet. We do have 6 sacks in this game. We're trying to get them out of field goal range. And here we go. 3rd and 13. Sending 4, 5.
I checked Allstate first, saved hundreds on my car insurance. Unfortunately, I didn't check to see if anyone was watching before I stole cotton candy from a child. Well, at least I checked Allstate first and saved hundreds.
There's Thursday Night Football on Prime. It's on. This week, it's a California showdown as San Francisco meets Los Angeles. And Thursday Night Football, 49ers, Rams, at 7 p.m. Eastern, only on Prime. If you suffer from litter back, try Tiny Cats Lightweight. We've got your back.
The one-of-a-kind joy of Kellogg's cereal and ice-cold milk.
Here's a game changer on how to make money on your own time. I recently just started driving with Uber, and these are 3 things that surprised me. First, I bet you didn't know that you don't even need a car to get started. Yeah, I was so surprised too, but Uber's vehicle marketplace actually allows you to rent cars so you can get on the road without even having to own your own car. Second, and this one blew my mind, you can actually get paid up to 5 times a day. So seriously, if you need cash fast, the Uber app has you covered. And third, the app actually shows you where all the hotspots are. It's been like having a treasure map in my pocket, so it's been so easy to make the most out of my earnings. All of these pro tips have made my driving experience better than I could have ever imagined. I've been loving the flexibility and the quick cash flow of driving with Uber. It has been so perfect for my lifestyle. So if you've been considering driving with Uber, I say go for it.
They find a tight end, but it's not enough. Now, what we have done is we've basically just decided we're headed to overtime. Well, we did not use a timeout. I don't understand that, but just watching Bobby Shermer take all these snaps, I want him off of the field. His stance is genuinely frustrating me. He sits so low that I don't want to watch it. Guess what we got to deal with here in overtime, though? We handed it off on 2nd down. We're watching him try and lead us to victory, but it's 3rd and 11. And this has to be a good play. Come on, throw, on the run, caught, what a play! Never mind, it doesn't matter how he takes these snaps. I got my faith in Bobby Shermer. CJ Hester might have gone nowhere with that carry. He got another opportunity. It is the same story though, setting us up for a 3rd and goal. Big play right here. He throws it, and it should have been picked. You know, it's really looking like Northern Kentucky's not going to win a game. We can still make a quarterback switch, which is something we will definitely do. But outside of that, look at our defensive line going to work in front of this home crowd. Can they get another sack here? That would change everything. It would change everything. Damian Shanklin just got his 4th sack of the day. And after icing them, this kicker has to hit from the logo. It's about a 55-yarder, and it looks like it is going to miss to the right. There it is. The Northern Kentucky Norse have won their first game as a program. That was honestly all that I cared to achieve this year. Outside of that, we're going to probably lose every single game. In this one against Cross River rival Cincinnati, I decided that I was still going to start freshman Bobby Shermer out there. But as you can see, he wasn't able to do enough for us. He got us close to a win, just not enough. And seeing that next up on our schedule, we have an 0-2 New Mexico State, this is where I can really make a change. We don't want Bobby Shermer to transfer out, so we still got to give him playing time. But at the same time, Mafa Ayu has better stats that could lead to us getting some wins. Well, to my surprise, with back-to-back road games, we're coming back 3-1. That is right. we've been able to win both of these games, and that is with our new starting quarterback, Mafa Ayu. He has us going on the road to Western Kentucky with a chance to be sitting at 4-1. This is something I didn't believe would be possible until we got to like seasons 4, seasons 5, season 6. And after a 55-yard run from C.J. Hester, we're on the 5-yard line. That was near the end of the game where we're trying to set up to just end it. Running back Dallin Hayden has 22 carries for 66 yards, so he's definitely gotten a lot too. But for whatever reason, we weren't aggressive there, and I guess it's because we can always take our break. Western Kentucky would do absolutely nothing with the ball either, just held to a quick 4-and-out, which means we're going to get the win. Our defense came strong in this game. The quarterback switch has gone far better than I ever thought it would. If we start to look at some of these recruits, though, we have a lot of them on a visit this next week against Delaware, and that could be the difference maker on whether or not we win some of these battles. Currently, the Blue Hens are 1-4. We're 4-1. They've not won a conference game, but we've won 3. And I always say the team overall calculations aren't a good indication of what each roster looks like, so we're going to view Delaware's, and theirs is a lot worse than ours still, so maybe they are 52. With all this success, though, our starting quarterback wants to transfer, so he wants to leave already. Even after taking down the Blue Hens 43-13, and I could see us losing in Kentucky, then Liberty, so we might have back-to-back losses coming up. That result didn't get us any commits either. We might as well see what happens at Kroger Field. And all I have to say from what happened here is, why can't Kentucky's offense play like this in real life? That game wasn't competitive. It wasn't worth talking about. In fact, it was also the reason Angel Booker decided to commit to the Wildcats, but we picked up a 4-star the same week, so I'm not too upset. We got our right tackle anyway, and we might still be able to get 5-star David Lane. The hard part for us with a lot of these prospects is our hard sells are not good at all, so we're not gaining that many points. We no longer have a visit to use on some of these players. I'm sure Tennessee is going to gain them very quickly. And if we just take a quick look at our conference standings, we're currently sitting on top of everybody else, but this might change. See, we're about to face off against the Flames on the road, who are typically pretty good. And I already know that that game came with a loss, but the next week, we signed 5-star David Lane out of Memphis. He didn't go to Tennessee. Now, the only possible explanation for that is we beat Kennesaw State, who was our opponent after Liberty, which we did after losing 38-10. We lost 38-10 in back-to-back weeks, but it's okay. We're still sitting in second place in our conference, and this game against Missouri is going to be a big deal. If we can just beat the Bears, we already took down New Mexico State, so we have the tiebreaker. We should be in the conference championship game. And I love the fact that this is going to be taking place at James Boruba Stadium, so we're going to have the home field advantage. There's no telling how this one is going to finish out either, because we're currently trailing by 3, but we've been able to drive into the red zone. I would obviously prefer if we could just avoid overtime, but I think after taking that sack, it's probably what we're going to be headed to, unless this is a miraculous throw that's caught. We still need to drill this kick as well, but the freshman can handle that. Missouri State just has 3 timeouts and 48 seconds to potentially get about 40 yards. If our defense shows no signs of resistance, we're going to fall to Missouri State. And that'd be awful, because I love the fact that we're 6-3. I love the fact that we could be in the Conference USA Championship. But it's not looking too good for the Norse. The home crowd is really quiet, too. I get being disappointed that you just have to sit there and watch your team fall apart, but we needed something from them. And even here, they're not that pumped up while they're trying to settle for a field goal. They've gotten the loudest that they've been all day for this kick, but I'm not sure if it's gonna make a difference. It's in. So Mafa Ayu has his opportunity to get us back tied up, but he would have had to complete a deep pass, and he did. Instead, he just went down. So this is gonna be the final play of the game that is going to go for like 10 yards. I'm not a fan of that decision right there. I'm going to have to chew him out in the locker room. And what I'll say is, after losing 3 of our last 4 games, I think it's time that Bobby Shermer gets his opportunity to go back out there on the field. I really just don't want him to transfer away, so we're going to try and keep him happy, though it is going to burn any chance of him getting a red shirt. And it turns out he couldn't even stay healthy for those final 2 matchups. Actually, it turns out that my depth chart change just didn't save, because I put him in as our starting quarterback, and he didn't play. So for those last 2 games, we weren't dealing with him. We finished 7-5. And that is good enough to get us in a 5-way tie for second place in our conference, though I don't think we're the team that gets the spot in the conference championship game. As for our recruiting board, we ended up losing out on the gym quarterback from Somerset, Kentucky to the Wildcats. He wanted to stay there instead of coming up to the Northern Kentucky spot in the state. I get it. Angel Booker, we already know that he was going to leave us. We saw that earlier on in the year when we got Robbie Sharp. And then there's 5-star Matthew Booty. He is platinum adrenaline. I don't even know what that does in his ability, but I would love to find out. The kid from Pennsylvania currently has a decent shot at coming to our school because we're the only one that is heavily pursuing. I gotta say, the boosters putting the money in behind the Norse have been super powerful because we just signed 2 5-stars in season number 2, beating out Pittsburgh for that kid as well. He didn't want to stay in his own state. Well, Eli Holstein won the Heisman Trophy. It's just crazy to even think about. We're going to get our bowl game against Southern Miss. They have the same colors that we did. But the most important thing we can do right now is check the depth traits of the 10 players that have committed. We already got a 3-star guard that has star development on the 5-star running back as well. You just absolutely love to see it. Star dev on David Lane, the 5-star linebacker, and we even got star dev on Taj Quick. Those guys will progress pretty quick for us. Let's see what happens against Southern Miss, though. I am not going to roll out our backup quarterback. I'm going to stay with Mafa Ayu. Bobby Shermer's deal breaker is right where it needs to be, so we could still get him the redshirt this year, as long as he doesn't see the field this game, which is great, because we want to give him an extra season to improve his accuracy. I can't believe that we could even go for 8 wins this season, and I thought, why not just pull out the retro jerseys for this game? If you've been watching this channel for a while, then you would know I actually created a team in NCAA Football 14 with those helmets. It's cool to see somebody else did it. They make for a good use out of that throwback logo, and we are currently on defense. We've been able to hold Southern Miss to just 10 points in this game, but we still have to prevent them from scoring one final touchdown, which we could have done. I wish that ball was intercepted, but they're still not in a good spot. 45 seconds left, 4th and 3. They go with the halfback toss, and we can't make the tackle in time. That was a lot of effort for them to just get a first down. So I really have a lot of faith in our defense to still close this one out, even if they're midfield. This is nuts. Our second year as a program, because we use the portal well, we've been able to win a ball. And they're wasting so many downs to stop the clock. You might as well just start sending up some prayers to the end zone, because that's the only thing that's going to work for them. They did it. They're not going to catch it, though. There was a split second there where I thought we might get Moss. We didn't know, which means NKU taking home the bowl game. I'm very happy with 8-5. And I just hope that we can continue to improve every season as we set off on our path to eventually win a national championship. That will take a long time for sure. Mafa Ayu might not even be with us next season, because I think he can see the writing on the wall that we want to start Bobby Shermer in the future anyway. So we'll see what he decides. Dallin Hayden rushed for over 1,000 yards, 9 touchdowns. He was amazing, and he's going to be replaced by CJ Hester, who's going to be a senior next year. Good stuff on that side of the ball. Freshman Tyrone Westfall, the former 4-star, he had 5 touchdowns, second most out of our receiving corps. Then you'll see Andre Johnson. He's getting closer and closer to having 1,000 yards as a tight end. But freshman Lex Cyrus, who we got out of the transfer portal, has been the most impactful player that we've had so far. And I think he's going to develop to a really high overall. Now, on the ability side of things, another thing I'm starting to want to explore is this strategist tree instead of talent developer, just because we only have to win 4 bowl games to unlock this, and we could have visits making a bigger impact, and also lower deal breaker thresholds on some of our players. That would prevent guys from transferring out, which we're going to need to be a dominant force in the future. It's only our punter that wants to transfer this year, and he's going to be gone, which is fine with me. Raylan Wilson's going to be a 3rd-round pick. If he was just a little bit better, he could have been a 1st-round pick, but we missed out on that. It is what it is. We also had an 84 overall get drafted in the 7th round. I've never seen that before, but that's where Tyson Ruffins went. And then Devin Jackson, another transfer, went in round 7. After that last season, we have 600 hours to spend in the transfer portal period. Jaden Patterson wants to come here. So does Amarian Peterson. He's worked wonders for us in some other rebuilds on the channel. It seems like we should be able to get him as well. As we go up to Jaden Patterson, the only 4-star transfer on our board, I'm going to completely guess his hard sell just based off of the information that we have. It's a pretty big risk to take. But I think either way we'll be okay, because we have so many transfers on our board, so no matter what, we're going to have a pretty solid team compared to the rest of our conference. Well, we actually guessed it correctly, and we had Jaden Patterson on a visit, but it's not going to be enough to jump up to 1st place, because we don't have a pipeline in the state of Georgia. We also just don't have the NIL budget to afford him, because we already spent it on getting 2 5-stars to commit to Northern Kentucky. The strong safety with his star development would have been nice. It's just another player that Kentucky has taken away from us. But at the same time, we got Amarian Peterson as one of our running backs. We were able to get Micah Strickland. He is a channel favorite back from the FIU series. But this star corner chose Arkansas over us, so Jacoby Pascal decided he would rather play for Sam Pittman than me, even though I guess I've also been controlling Arkansas throughout that series. I'd say there wasn't anything too exciting in that class. Paul Webster was the transfer quarterback we signed with his impact development. It was a top 30 class, though. mainly because of those 5 stars, and it gets us the top class in the conference with ease. It looks like as a transfer, Paul Webster comes in as a 75 overall. Player progression is going to be very interesting to shape up this quarterback room. And you know what? Right before we get into training results, we're going to start to go down this motivator pathway. It'll be interesting to see how solid those off-season training boosts are. At the moment, all we have to do to unlock talent developer now is get 2 players drafted in the first round. Theoretically, our offensive line and all of our receivers and tight ends should have improved more than they would have, though none of these players have gotten up to an overall that would get them drafted in the first round. Bobby Shermer is the one player whose progression I was going to follow super closely with his star development. It looks like the freshman, now that he's got a red shirt, is going to have a little boost to accuracy, but his stats must have gone into something else. Turns out it was his +5 speed, which I can't even use since we have to spectate him. But our running back room, you're going to see Amarian Peterson and CJ Hester will both be rated higher than our 5-star incoming freshmen. That's going to put me in a hard spot where we still need to make sure that Matthew Boutte is getting on the field because he cares about playing time, and we definitely do not want this 5-star to transfer out because he could become the best running back in the country. I mean, all around, our roster's just gotten better when it comes to every single starter. I'd say at most positions, everyone's starting's like a 78 overall, between a 78 and an 84. It's a pretty solid range to have, especially inside Conference USA, where if I scroll through all of these team overalls, they're sitting at like a 60, 66 might be the highest with Middle Tennessee. The thing is though, if we were to compare their roster to ours is better. So we have the best team on paper inside our conference. We're just going to be starting our worst quarterback on our roster, Bobby Shermer, because he's got 4 years to develop into a beast. I'm excited to travel an hour down the road and see how he does at Kentucky. This is a game that will always be played at Kroger Field until we can beat them, and I just don't think we have what it takes this year. To my surprise though, it's been a defensive battle which has kept us in this one, and that's how we're only trailing by 2 points with a minute 10 seconds left. Bobby Shermer gets the throw out, but it's going to be intercepted by the Wildcats, and that does it. It just hurts to see because I know we've not played the best offensive game, but we had a real opportunity. Instead, Mark Stoops, still at Kentucky, just runs out the rest of the clock. And the longer the season goes on, the more players that are going to want to transfer away from the North. Fortunately for us, after we play Kentucky and Cincinnati, our schedule will only get easier, and we actually won at Nippert Stadium 23-16, so we have beat our Cross River rivals. Bobby Shermer took them down, and if you look at the rest of our schedule, like I was saying, it is only going to get easier for us throughout it. We're playing against schools like Delaware, who haven't had as much success as we have moving up to the FBS level. And it does help having receivers like sophomore Lev Cyrus, who puts up some pretty strong numbers. I think games like that are the reason that we're able to have multiple 4-star receivers on our board that would consider playing for the Norse. As you can see, we even have 5-star Devin Gums up here. We don't know what his heart cell is yet because he's not entered the top 5. But as the year goes on, I'm hoping that we can somehow have enough NIL money to pick him up along with those 4-stars. Since this matchup determines the best small school in the state of Kentucky, I've decided it's pretty important, though we have already passed up Western Kentucky pretty easily. Look at that. I'm talking about the touchdown CJ Hester just scored, of course, putting us up 38-0. It is nice to see how far the Norse have come in such a short period of time, but we have to see how the rest of the year goes first before I'll get too ahead of myself. One of my new favorite things to do on recruits, whenever there's 2 hard sells that I can't decide between, is for one of them, I do the soft sell, the one that I don't want it to be, and then we're going to sway with the hard sell that has more powerful school grades, hoping that this is what they actually care about. That's all I'm doing at the moment. Just going to be a lot of recruiting going on in the background as we sit through a lot of this year. And over time, George Stewart has unfortunately locked us out. So that 4-star receiver, we're going to lose out on. He was a gadget. It's one of my favorite archetypes to target. But you're going to see that we've been able to sign 4 different 4-stars still. We're in a battle against Pitt, trying to take this kid away from them. Ole Miss also got this receiver, which means we're not getting a receiver in this class unless it's a 3-star. But I think even the athlete that we're going after at the moment, this guy's only got 81 speed. Yeah, he's going to be better as a tight end. As for the only 5-star on our board, though, he is on a visit as we have won 7 in a row.
I'm a baseball dad. Just because I didn't go pro doesn't mean my kid won't. Hey, buddy, you gotta swivel those hips, right? And you gotta swing. And if you don't have the right insurance, you can be paying for this yourself. So get Allstate.
Stems multi-insect spray is safe to use around people and pets.
next step in treating your moderate to severe ulcerative colitis with Entyvio, the only gut-focused treatment for UC that helps block inflammation in the gut and works right where you need it. Now is the time to talk with your doctor about the results you want, rapid response, and for many people, visible improvement. And serious allergic reactions can happen during or after treatment. Entyvio may increase risk of infection, which can be serious. Although unlikely, PML, a rare brain infection that can result in death, cannot be ruled out. Tell your doctor if you have an infection, flu-like symptoms, sores, or are prone to infections. Liver problems can occur. Learn more about the only treatment for UC that works right where you need it. And ask your doctor about gut-focused Entyvio, including the Entyvio pen.
Gut-focused Entyvio.
Against Missouri State, this is our chance to get revenge for last year. And the pop-ups come up. It is Devin Gums. We've been able to sign a 5-star again. That is sweet. This entire season has been going really well for us, which has really surprised me. I mean, New Mexico State gave us a little bit of a scare, but outside of that, we're dominating. All of it with freshman quarterback Bobby Shermer as well. So we should be keeping him around. His accuracy should continue to go up, especially this next offseason. He has been a special find for this program, and we've basically locked ourselves into the conference championship game. At least I thought so, until Louisiana Tech beat us and gave us our first conference loss. We're going to stay in first place, but we're about to play Liberty, who could knock us out of there, and if FIU continues to win, we would completely miss out. It's not the most ideal spot to be in, because we're going to have to play well at home against Liberty, against a team that is typically pretty good, but look at how Bobby Shermer has handled the Flames. In a torrential downpour, your Northern Kentucky Norse have been able to hold them to 3 points, and even if we don't manage to pick up this 3rd and 14, all we had to do was hand it off. What we were looking to do was take it to the 2-minute warning before going up by 3 possessions. And from there, it wasn't hard for us to close out the game and get the win. With a spot in the conference championship locked up, what happens at Jacksonville State doesn't matter. Either way, we have had our best season in program history. I know it's only been a short 3 years, and we're playing against FIU. We went 10-2 this season, that close loss to Kentucky and a close loss to Louisiana Tech being the only 2 games that we dropped. Meanwhile, the Panthers were able to go 9-3, so they also had a pretty solid season, but on paper, I'm almost 99% sure we have the better roster. Now, that does not guarantee wins, but just take a look at our highest overall player, and then take a look at their highest overall player. Both of us have 88s, except the drop-off from Will Wilson, their quarterback, is pretty sharp. That lets us know, though, that we're going to be facing the most talented kid that we've played all season. Well, just off of the fact that I saw Matthew Booty was getting a lot of carries in this game, lets me know how this one went. We didn't even need starting running back CJ Hester. We were using our backup as we won 41-13. I'm sorry to FIU, but we just deserve this a little bit more here up in Northern Kentucky. CJ Hester was able to go for 147 yards, 2 tutties on the ground, while Bobby Shermer threw for 253 yards, 2 touchdowns. We still have to be able to maintain it, but currently it's feeling like we are just outgrowing our conference. Now, our bowl game is going to be against Colorado. This will be a good test for us to see how good we are against a Power 4 program. We've not played one in a while, and higher staff. Don't tell me that we lost a coordinator. We lost both of them. Butch Jones found a better job, but it gives us an opportunity to hire a 42 overall one. Brian Vincent, I'm going to try and get him. The other option is Ty Davidson, who is just an elite recruiter. The problem with that is it's only going to give us like plus 5 more hours a week on guys. It's not worth it. And then from a defensive coordinator perspective, we got multiple good options, but I would love to get the guy that is mainly a tactician. It's also early National Signing Day, and outside of this 4-star running back from Paintsville, Kentucky, we have been able to sign every other kid that is left on our board. So we can start looking through some of these depth traits. Hope that we see an elite dev at some point. Devin Gums is only going to have impact. Pretty disappointed with that class so far, but there's still the transfer portal here. With 2 minutes left in this game, we're currently all tied up at 17. I'm happy with the way we're playing. You could say it's just the Independence Bowl. No one cares that much, but this is our chance to really prove ourselves. Deion Sanders is always going to field a competitive team for us to face, but we're currently keeping it close. On a big 3rd and 4, Bobby Shermer is going to find his tight end. The senior hangs on to the football, and we can start to run. CJ Hester's touched the ball 19 times for 59 yards. It's not been a great performance, but we needed him to catch it. That sets up another 3rd and short. We're probably going to look over in Andre Johnson's direction. The senior tight end hangs on, and now we can just settle for a field goal or maybe a touchdown as he goes to the 2. I can't believe what Bobby Shermer has turned into as only a freshman. We still have to hit the field goal, though, to win the game and the refs say it's it. A few years from now, if NKU can keep this up, they might be getting an invite to a bigger conference. But there are a couple players on this roster that have started for us, like Dunham, that are most likely going to transfer, which could make us take a step back. Now, it seems like we didn't get the offensive coordinator that we wanted. I also can barely say our defensive coordinator's last name. I did not realize how close it was, but Hitzler is going to be our defensive coordinator. I looked around, Ty Davidson, again, he's an elite recruiter, only an elite recruiter. We don't really want him. We're going to go after this strategist. And with no other offers, he is forced to live in Kentucky. What a season for this team. It might not have been as good of a season as Pittsburgh had, winning a national championship. That's something I rarely see. But Bobby Shermer was already showing some flashes of greatness. Then on the rushing side of things, C.J. Hester had 16 touchdowns on the ground. Our freshman running back had 12. Obviously, C.J. Hester got a lot more yards. And then Tyrone Westfall, one of the first 4 stars we ever signed, he was our leading receiver in this group. Outside of the bowl game, though, Andre Johnson didn't play much for us. Luke Harprin got injured. That's why he wasn't there for that game. The junior is going to come back for another season, which is nice, though his stats are already maxed out. He has very secure hands, and this is the most players that have ever wanted to transfer away from NKU in one season. We've been trying to build up a team of guys that don't want to leave. We try to recruit players that aren't going to want to leave in the future. When they care about playing time, though, when they don't get it, I can't blame them for trying to find a better spot to play. At least we were able to get Elijah to return. He was a 4-star corner for us. Graduation side of things, I don't know if any of these players will get drafted. Quentin Reddish was the only one that did, and we really need to figure out how we're going to get some first-round picks. It would certainly help if we could sign some 4-star transfers, younger guys like Juan Falk, who have a couple years to develop. That gives us our best opportunity. By week 3, it's hard sell time. We're have to guess which of these hard sells is going to be on these transfers, and I could be wrong. If I'm wrong, we're not going to get a player like Tyson Ford. It's just the way it goes, but getting somebody like 4-star transfer receiver Juan Falk, you should be able to tell that we got some solid guys. We actually didn't miss that much either. We signed Tyson Ford. We didn't get the 4-star running back, but that's okay. We have running backs already. Missouri took away this 3-star linebacker. Penn State took away this 3-star defensive tackle. Wisconsin wanted that corner. It is what it is. It keeps our class number smaller, and all of the 4-star transfers that we got, every one of them has star development. We actually got a top 25 class with Northern Kentucky too. I was not expecting a top 25 class, but this is just showing that we're outgrowing Conference USA. We're still just waiting on our invite to a better conference. For now, I thought I'd go a little bit more into the motivator pathway. The big one is talent developer, but we just can't unlock it. Though I am kind of curious, where's the best spot going to be to put Devin Gums, the 5-star that we brought in? I think making him a free safety is the smartest thing that we could do. We could also take Juan Falk, who just transferred in as an 84 overall. He's a gadget receiver. So if we move him over to running back, he becomes a 93, and that might be enough to be a first-round pick. With training results, he's going to be a 95 overall. Behind him is Matthew Booty. So our running back room is very, very solid. Also, Caleb Beasley is up to an 89, 90 with tactician bonuses. You all are wondering, what did Bobby Shermer get up to, though? He is sitting at an 81 right now, still worse than Mafu Ayu. But we know what this guy's skill caps look like. It's not like he's going to get much better throughout his career. I mean, he can only improve quickness and elusiveness. Meanwhile, Bobby Shermer had to improve his accuracy, which he has done. His deep throw accuracy is still only 70. There's a lot of room to grow in that department, but his quickness is maxed out. He is now 93 speed. He's going to be a monster, and our receiving core is so deep at the moment. This is really solid whenever you consider we're in Conference USA. One thing that's caused us to get this good might be the fact that I've over-recruited a little bit. We got 93 players on the roster, so I'm going to have to encourage some to transfer. That's given me a better perspective of this entire roster, where it's starting to lean a little bit more older than younger, just because we've gone after so many transfers. So we're still going to have to sign about 20 guys a year to maintain the amount of players on this team. But what you might have noticed as we were scrolling through team needs is the crazy team overall. I don't believe these calculations are correct. We're not in 96. I don't know why EA can't seem to get the overall calculations correct in Dynasty. Literally, just take the entire thing out of 14, whatever they used back then. Either way, though, whether it's correct or not, in Conference USA, I'm expecting us to just walk through this conference. If any of these teams beat us, I will be very upset. If there's any game on this schedule that we should even lose, it would either be against Cincinnati or at number 6 Notre Dame. Outside of that, we should be getting to 10 wins. And it was about time that we found somebody that was a 5-star out of the state of Kentucky. We're going to be going heavily after Jason Rinka. I think we might be able to sign him as well because it looks like nobody else wants the 5-star defensive tackle out of Louisville, Kentucky, not even the Cardinals. They've not been in a lot of recruiting battles, which has been weird. This is what the rest of our board's looking like. I have found more 4-star gems than I have found in any other season. My favorite being this year Crabtree. He is not a sorry receiver like Crabtree. No, he is 95 speed. He's a speedster. He's a gem. I want it. And to open up this season, we're playing the Bearcats, who are a 58 overall. That's about the overall that every single team in our conference is going to be. So if I were to just compare our roster over to theirs, you would see the difference. It's a massive drop-off. We basically have 15 to 20 overall players better at every single position. For us to lose one of those games would be a massive upset. It's the reason that our championship contender is dropping by winning. And I am excited to see what happens against rival Cincinnati. We are getting a little bit of a scare here because we only have an 8-point lead. They drop it in the end zone. And our Stadium Pulse is maxed out. Will it ever be a top 25 place to play? Absolutely not. But Stadium Pulse maxed out. Hopefully going to get that stop. They've now had back-to-back drops. And on 3rd and goal, look at that pressure. Here we are setting up to clinch this win over our rivals. All we have to do is not give it up, make the tackle, wrap up in time. It is exactly what I was hoping to see, though there's a long year in front of us if we're only winning by 8. We sure did not dominate Cincinnati the way I was hoping that we would have. And unfortunately, what I discovered after the Liberty game was Ohio State's taken a massive leap up on Nasir Crabtree. He's just going to go to their school because our hard sell is not good enough. After taking down the Flames 41-24, we go on to win at Western Kentucky, win at FIU, who was 4-0 at the time, and then we had a bye week before we get into this tougher slate that is coming up. First, we run into Missouri State, and the Bears put a a massive visit week for us. We have so many players that are going to be on campus. But like I said, our team's so much better than other teams in our conference that if we lose, it's going to be coaching malpractice. A lot of guys want to transfer even after a win now. I think that's the most concerning part to me. We beat them 45-24. We also got a playing style deal breaker on Sean Leonard. So Louisville, the school that I said wasn't going after any prospects taking them from us, is probably going to win that battle. But at least we signed Taylor Tatum in the same week, plus some other gems. Up at the top of our board, Notre Dame has entered the battle, but we should be able to close out on Jason Ringo. Seth Barnes is going to Ohio State. I might as well just remove him now. Ohio State took a lot of prospects from us, so did Michigan. I'm not sure why I thought we could out-recruit them with Northern Kentucky, but we're about to play Notre Dame, so this is a chance to take our program to another level. Headed into it, besides Jamarco Sidney having a broken collarbone, our entire team's healthy. And as we take this snap in a low stance on 3rd and 6, I can't believe what position we're in. Bobby Shermer had nowhere to run there. The stadium is super loud, but we can settle for 3 and go up by 6 points. Currently, all we have to do is play defense for a minute, and they took out the kick return for whatever reason. Notre Dame needs 90 yards in 54 seconds. I think we can trust our defense here. And after spiking the ball, they're able to get off a quick throw on 3rd and 1. Stanley Swift, Notre Dame's quarterback, has thrown 2 picks though. So I wouldn't be very shocked if this game ended on a 3rd interception. He's thrown for no touchdowns either. That's what's been holding back the Irish. But can we please wrap up here? Do not knock him out of bounds. It looks like he wasn't out of bounds, so they're still going to have to spike the ball. 11 seconds left. I think I've set like 6 or 7 here and got the pressure it needed. Good coaching decisions. 8 seconds left now. Is Notre Dame going to be able to answer back? All we have to do is swat this one, boys. That was close. Northern Kentucky is on the brink of the biggest win in program history. The biggest chance for us to potentially get to the playoff this year. We need a ranked win, and all we had to do was knock it away. Wait, there's a flag. It's against us. Don't start celebrating. Do not celebrate. This game is still not over. Stanley Swift has 1 shot to the end zone. Notre Dame only needs 16 yards. This cannot be it for the Norse. Come on. Play good defense. We sent 6. There's not many guys in coverage. Great play. That stressed me out. I thought we were about to get bossed for the loss, but we've come in on the road. Notre Dame was not a challenge for us. South Bend did not have a loud enough crowd to prevent us from winning. And if I scroll down in the polls, you're going to see that Notre Dame is still ranked above us with 3 losses, which is crazy, but at least we've made it here. Keep in mind, though, that's the media poll. What do the coaches have to say? Is it any different? See, the coaches actually know ball. They watch the games. They would never do something like ranking USF under Florida after USF went into their place and won. EA has somehow got the poll system so realistic to real life. I'm impressed by that. Looks like Jason Ringo still going to choose us over them. I mean, we just beat the Fighting Irish. for some of these other guys on our board we're going after later. I'm guessing Ohio State's going to pull away. We have Chuck Licata's interest unlocked already, which is helpful, so we can immediately start hard selling. We're not going to have a period where we're incorrect. But at the end of the day, compared to the larger programs, our school grades don't stack up that well. We better not lose another game in the regular season. Well, there's 5-star Jason Ringo committing, so it's another season where we're having success getting 5 stars. He's from Louisville, Kentucky, though. He just wanted to stay in the state. As for our record, we're sitting at 11-0. These highly ranked guys would just prefer to play for the Norse. Final week of the season, we're just going to sim past this. They're 2-0. And with Juan Falk having 165 yards on the ground, I think we're good. There's our spot in the conference championship again. FIU is ranked just like we are. But they didn't go 12-0, so they don't get to be sitting inside the top 12. They finished 10-2 with losses to teams such as us, which makes sense, by 24 points, and then Middle Tennessee. And I thought we might as well see if we have anybody in the Heisman race. We don't. I find that very disrespectful as well, because currently Juan Falk is averaging almost 2 touchdowns per game. He is 1,660 yards, but this is nothing compared to what Genty put up stat-wise, and he didn't win the Heisman. So maybe we just got to look at it from the fact that the committee understands and the game understands that we're playing a pretty weak schedule. When it comes to this game, I will say, it's been unlike last year. Will Wilson has kept his team in it for the most part. Not picking up that 4th down really hurt them, though. They weren't going to come back down by 10. He put up a good fight. He was the one player on that team I was worried about last season, same as this year. Once head coach Willie Simmons dapped up our QB, though, he knew we had the real deal. FIU has been improving, just not as fast as we have. San Diego State had the Heisman-winning quarterback. Our playoff spot is going to take us against the Seminoles. And I can basically guarantee this current roster is not winning 4 games in a row there, which is why this recruiting class is so important, because we have to keep on bringing in high-level players to Northern Kentucky. As you can see, there's 1 4-star we could still win out on. Penn State beat us out for a 3-star, but we won a lot of the battles I wanted. We also have our first elite development player. It's on the center for Pennsylvania. And then the defensive tackle from Louisville, Kentucky, 5-star elite depth. Jason Ringo is going to be extremely talented in the future. We're averaging 44 points per game this year. But can we do that on the road, headed into Florida State? I'm not really sure. We don't have anybody on the injury report. Florida State has a couple of guys, but nobody major. And Bobby Shermer had a really good season for us. He had 35 touchdowns, 4 interceptions, not making many mistakes, also rushing for 543 yards on the ground. Of course, Juan Falk got a lot more yards. But then Matthew Booty, I noticed this.
I checked All-State first and saved hundreds on my contracts. Unfortunately, I didn't check if doing the Georgia Barker, my boss, would be appropriate. Go Dogs! Yeah.
So we need
Well, at least I checked All-State first and saved hundreds.
Does he do this every time?
Now pizza bigger.
That gun's dull, but fancy cute. Cooling flavor crystals, fancier. Too fancy. Just the right amount of fancy. Icebreakers, ooh, fancy.
Addiction affects many, and I've seen firsthand how challenging it can be. Not just for those struggling, but for their loved ones too. That's why I wanted to tell you about Work It Health. It's an innovative online platform that provides personalized addiction treatment accessible from anywhere, anytime, through your phone. This app is perfect for those who can't abandon their daily responsibilities to go to an in-person rehab. Work It Health is a game changer. It offers counseling, medically assisted treatment, recovery groups, and a non-judgmental space. This app was created by 2 women in recovery and is operated by people in recovery, so they get it. Privacy, support, and convenience, all without having to alter your day-to-day life drastically. If you or someone you know is fighting this battle, let them know that Work It Health is an online option that can make all the difference.
He's not happy with his current playing time, which I can understand. He's a 91 overall, and he's our backup, so he's going to transfer. That's not exactly looking ideal for the outlook of NKU football. Raphael Lawton was our #1 receiver. He's about to crack 1,000 yards. Lex Cyrus, he's #2. And then tight end Luke Hartbring was up there at #3. We spread the ball out really well, though, even to our 4th receiver, Tyrone Westfall. So I hope that we can do that at Florida State. It's not been too hard to dominate in our conference, but once we have to start playing bigger programs, winning at their stadium consistently, not just a one-off time at Notre Dame, that's where it's going to take a real challenge in this rebuild. I think year over year, maintaining our roster is going to be tough. I hate this third down play call. We just ran it for no reason, which means now on 3rd and 1, we're going to need a big defensive stop. They got guys in motion. I think they're just going to run it, but they pass out to the flat. We can make this tackle in time. The good news from there is they punted it back to us. We took it. We drove down the field. But Bobby Shermer is only thrown for 146 yards in this game, and he gets his first touchdown. Now it's going to be on our defense to hang on. 90 seconds, 3 timeouts. The Seminoles definitely have their opportunity to work, and injury timeouts are going to hurt us. Hopefully, though, we can start to generate some pressure and force them to make some mistakes. That's exactly what has happened here. They still have those timeouts, though. So I can't sit here and brag about the fact that we're going to win a playoff game on the road until we get a first down. Quan should be the best running back in the country, though, which is why I'm surprised we're not going to use him on the ground. I think there's a way for me to actually go in coach mode and figure out how I can call plays, which would be sick. If I ever do another rebuild where I can't play the games, I think that's how I got to do it. That'd be neat. I would like to think that my play calling would be better than what the computer is doing. That first down, though, that's going to do it. We're going to be able to win our first playoff game with the Norse, and we're only 4 seasons in, I'm pretty sure. So that's a shock to see Northern Kentucky not only make it here, but win a playoff game. The last time I rebuilt a small school, it was Nain, and I remember it took so many seasons to finally have success. But I do think I set some restrictions on who I was able to recruit. That obviously makes a major difference. If I look at the rest of the teams left in this playoff, Alabama's the only one, maybe USC as well, that really scares me. So let's just see what happens in the Rose Bowl against the Trojans, who are coming in as a 91 overall. This is a huge stage for us to even be playing on in the first place. And Juju Lewis transferred over from Colorado to the Trojans, but this is what he has left them with. 30-13. 2 minutes left. 4th and 9. He's calling out spottables. Is it going to make a difference? I'm not sure. He slings it, and we knock the ball loose. Micah Strickland with the blow is going to send us on to the semifinals. If he can blow guys like that consistently, we might just win a championship this year. Bobby Shermer has set the single-season passing touchdowns record here in Northern Kentucky. I think he set a lot of records. It's just mixed in with the records of the school that we replaced, which is why Ben Roethlisberger is in our current record book. I'm not sure why they didn't get that right. Look at this, though. There are only 4 players that now want to transfer. And our playoff matchup is going to be against Pittsburgh. We are literally just 2 games away from being able to win the entire thing. That has caught me completely off guard, but we're on a solid run. We're undefeated, and now we're going to be going up against the 91 overall Panther roster. I'm going to be honest, I thought Pittsburgh was going to be like an 81 overall. I never see them develop this well in Dynasty. And so what I was going to say was I guess we could factor in that they're coming off of the national championship. But look at what they've done. This team is genuinely no good. We're up 30-0 in the 3rd quarter. I think we're about to settle for 3. But we have no reason to be aggressive because they literally cannot score on us. By the time that they figured out how to move the ball, it was far too late. Our Cinderella run is 1 win away from winning it all. But we are going to have to face off against #1 Alabama. Not the same Alabama that Nick Saban had, though. That's at least what people have been saying recently, though I'm not sure if that has any merit at all. We're about to find out how good they are. They're #1 in the country. They're coming off an SEC championship. They're clearly very talented. But Northern Kentucky is also kind of talented. They've done better than we ever thought that they would. We have 2,000 rushing yards on Juan Falk now, and he's about to face a 99 overall team for the first time. This game is taking place in the great city of Tampa, Florida. I'm hoping that we came prepared, that we got some life to us. And that's exactly what happened. We've been in front this entire game. With less than 3 minutes left, we're up 23-17. Tommy Timmerman, Alabama's quarterback, has thrown 3 interceptions as well. He's been a big problem for them. Our defense has also contributed to that. And on the other side of this 2-minute timeout, we're 2 minutes away from a national championship. Come on, let's keep getting pressure, boys. Do not let Tommy run. It's not like he's had a great day on the ground, 14 rushes, 14 yards, but he's going to float it over the middle, and we're going to get our hands on it. We're going to return it to the 43. I can't tell if that's Micah Strickland or not, but I'm pretty sure it is. And what a play from the junior. Now, we need to get in field goal range first before I'll feel like we could actually close out this game. Matthew Moody is not who we want taking carries right now. We want to keep it, and I think that will do it. All we have to do is just take a QB kneel. And to my surprise, we've won it all with Northern Kentucky in 4 years. I've done better with Northern Kentucky than I do in most of my 5-year rebuilds. I'm like sitting here thinking back and reflecting on what all did we do that had that much success. I guess through the transfer portal, we were able to find a player like Vaughn Fall. He came over from Louisville, so he was already in the state of Kentucky, and he made this team so much better, but we had to move him to running back from wide receiver. At receiver, he was pretty effective there too. I'm just going to let him go ahead and go on to the NFL draft as a junior because he's projected in the first round. I think we still play through another season too. We can't just end this at 17-0. We have to see if we can finish 34 now. As for some of our graduates, Garrett Sexton is going to be a second-round pick, so that's not going to get us 2 first-round picks. It is unfortunate to see. And when it comes to convincing some of these other guys to stay around, Mafu Ayu just wants to sit on the bench and collect another trophy at some point. We're going to find out, though, if next year we can have the same type of success without having a running back that is this good. I mean, his stats as a running back aren't even that crazy. More so from a receiving back perspective, he's a monster. But I think that fit in really well with our scheme. These were the playbooks that I was running in Sim. When it comes to this game, I've never used either of those, but that really worked for this rebuild. As you can see, first round pick, only getting one of them. So I think instead of going down the talent developer pathway, what we're going to do instead is spend the 30 points it costs to unlock Tactician and then max this out. I really wanted to do something different for this video, but EA makes it so hard to unlock some of these other skill trees that you're never going to be able to achieve them. Like even Program Builder, I think after winning a national championship, there is no reason I shouldn't be able to go down this pathway. Even CEO, it takes 2 daddies. By that point, you're basically done with your file. I know some people stay on the same file for longer, but I don't. DJ Pickett is a great option for us, by the way. He's a 6'4" corner that I think we could move to receiver or running back to. He's just a beast. I'm not sure what our odds are going to be of signing all of these 4-star transfers I've put on here, by the way, but I thought we might as well throw 13 and see how many we can get. Coming off of a national championship, I feel like this is a pretty enticing place to be, but then I look at our stadium atmosphere and it's not as good. Just based off of the way things are looking, I think we're going to be able to get like 4 or 5 players, but you're going to see a lot of battles where I've even been able to get the hard sell correct and the other pitches are just doing better than ours. Those are going to be out of my control, but as long as we pick up a couple more, our team's going to be in a great spot. You can see that we lost about half of those battles, even on DJ Pickett. But for the class that we actually brought in, we were able to add in 6 more transfers. And that is going to get us our highest ranked class yet, coming in at number 15. Another thing we could always do is just take one of these receivers and move them over to running back again, which would help. But I think Matthew Booty's going to start over this kid anyway. We'll see how they progress. I also like the idea of taking Tanner Church, a 6'2", 195-pound receiver, over to tight end, just because I think he'll be a good target there. We've recruited Sean DeVry, but I don't know how well he's going to get. I think no matter what, this team is just going to be ridiculous because it is clearly better than what we were working with last season. We've taken a massive step forward into building some really good depth. And I can't believe how well everybody's developed. I didn't even unlock the talent developer side of things, which I wanted to get. Bobby Shermer couldn't max out his accuracy, unfortunately. But I don't even think I need to encourage our lowest overall players to transfer. I'm like 99% sure it's going to be a 99 overall team. And I'm hoping that we go back-to-back and we can end this video with 2 championships, 17-0 both times. I won't even change the schedule that it's going to give us. We'll play at number 3, Ole Miss. This is what the rest of it's going to look like. Easy opponents. We aren't going to have anybody in the Heisman race, though, while Will Wilson stays at FIU for another season, and he's still there. He should not be a problem for us, though. We better still run the conference. And I like to see that Bobby Shermer is having a player of the game in the first week. We beat Marshall 59-6. So after we face Ole Miss, we can basically just sit to the end of the season. But this one road game is the one that scares me. It's the one that makes me think everything could go south. See, it doesn't matter. We're coming off a national championship, and this would be a loss to a really highly ranked team. If we lose this game, we might not be able to make the playoffs at 11-1. The rest of our wins just wouldn't be good enough, which is why this 2-minute drill down by 4 is the most important 2-minute drill in program history. Maybe that's a little bit of a stretch, but we really do need to figure out how we're going to come back. And on 3rd and 6, we're just going with a screenplay where we've gotten enough. Bobby Shermer is best when he's mobile. He is 99 throwing the run. He stood in the pocket to go deep here, and we got an open receiver that brings it in. Ole Miss thought they were going to take us down, but we're back on top, and this stadium is silent. They're then going to just hand the football off. I couldn't tell you why they do that. They have to know that time is very important, though they've given that running back 27 carries in this game. Maybe that's how they feel the most comfortable moving the ball. But there it is. They've used their final timeout. A sack would be massive for us. Though it is starting to look like overtime. 20 more yards and it's definitely headed there, which is why We gotta get some pressure. We're just playing our coverage way too deep and giving up these underneath throws. They're gonna break a tackle to get like another few yards. So they're scrambling to spike the ball, and they've got to be in field goal range. Here we go. I'm assuming we're gonna head to overtime. It's a slow kick, and is that gonna miss? It's gonna miss. They missed the kick. They did everything right on this drive, all for it to just be a shank on a 53-yard field goal. And that was the one challenging game on the Norse's schedule. By the time I check back in with you all, if we're not 12-0, it's gonna be really odd because we are the best team in the country, in my opinion. The great thing about college football, though, is the best team doesn't always win, which is why I couldn't guarantee an undefeated season. But when we're playing in what's probably the worst conference in the country, I'm not shocked that that's what happened. We've made it to the conference championship against 7-5 Jacksonville State, and the Gamecocks just can't take us down. I mean, we had the Maxwell Award winner on our team, Matthew Moody, rushed for 1,451 yards. We don't know how many touchdowns because it would rather show yards per carry, but he's going to take home the Heisman too, so it had to be a lot of touchdowns. He won basically every award that you could. Then Tanner Church, the receiver we moved over to tight end, was able to win the John Mackey Award, best tight end in the country. We got Michigan, but why are we seated at 11? See, this is what I don't get. We just won the national championship. We've won at least 30 straight games, and we're currently sitting at number 11, when we should be much higher up. I know our schedule is weak and Ole Miss turned out to not be a great opponent, but we need a little bit more love from the Bulls. Bobby Shermer finished with 31 passing touchdowns, over 4,000 yards. Solid season out of him. But Matthew Booty, 36 touchdowns, no wonder he won the Heisman. Getting that 5-star to commit really made a big difference. I can't believe that Pittsburgh didn't go after him, especially since they won a national championship and they were good enough to land it. He was from Pennsylvania, but he just decided that he wanted to play for the Norse. Now he's going to go out, hopefully help us keep up our 49-point per game average against Michigan and maybe get us another championship. It's very possible, but our pathway might be a little bit more difficult. I also wanted to test something, coach mode, where you get to call the play and then it gets run and you get to spectate it. It's now called auto pass. You have to back out of Dynasty, go into the main menu, and then turn it on from here. We're going to see if it works. And I think all you have to do is just snap the ball and then it'll take over and you watch. It definitely looks odd, but we have a passing play here. So we'll see if he ends up throwing the football. He does, and we make the catch. So as we're down by 8 points, we can change up the camera angle, and we can just watch. Get the throw out, get the throw out. You know, maybe that was a fluke. Maybe coach mode will still work the way I'm hoping it does, as that's another pass. I'm not touching any buttons. I have to remember, though, that I have to call the plays for us now. I'm not just spectating, and it's going to be a 4th down. Even worse, though, Bobby Shermer is not getting up. He's stuck on the ground. So Mafu Ayu makes a return for this play. He's out there on 4th and 3. We have him on the team to send it deep, and it's going to be dropped. It was in the hands of Tyrone Westfall as well, the 4-star that we recruited at the beginning. With no timeouts, Northern Kentucky's going to lose, and that's going to be it. It's really unfortunate that we couldn't go back-to-back, but you know what? I'm blaming part of that on the fact that we had to play on the road at Michigan after going undefeated. Still, though, this was an incredible 5-year run for Northern Kentucky, and the team that we built was extremely talented, which you can tell just off of the fact of how many players were able to get drafted on to the NFL. That's going to do it for this rebuild, though. Let me know down in the comments what creative team, what FCS school, what FBS school, whatever school you want to see. Let me know who you want me to rebuild next, and make sure you like the video while checking out some of my other content.
I'm a baseball dad. Just because I didn't go pro doesn't mean my kid won't. Hey, buddy, you gotta swivel those hips, right? And you gotta swing. And if you don't have the right insurance, you can be paying for this yourself. So get Allstate.
Thursday Night Football Prime. It's on. This week, it's a California showdown as San Francisco meets Los Angeles. And Thursday Night Football, 49ers, Rams, at 7 p.m. Eastern, only on Prime.
There's college football outside the U.S. in Canada, but there's never been a combination of the two leagues. Today I'm going to take a team from Canada and rebuild them until we win a championship, but I've decided to throw them in the Big Ten to make it harder. This roster comes in at a shocking 54 overall, but it makes sense. They have weird rules in Canada, like an end zone that stretches 20 yards instead of 10, and any decent Canadian football prospect would just attend a U.S. college. We'll be using the Toronto Varsity Blues, the biggest school from Canada. And let me tell you, if it wasn't for being a part of the Big Ten, our school school grades would be as bad as they get. Of course, we're projected to finish at the bottom of the conference, and it should just be called the Big 20 because I added in Notre Dame to even out the numbers. Former 14-year NFL vet and two-time Super Bowl champion Mark Rypien was born in Canada, so he's our head coach. And you all already know it's going to be on the hardest difficulty with the slowest Coach XP game. We do have a rival that we're going to play every season, the University of Buffalo, because it's just a 2-hour drive away from Toronto. And I've already decided I can only recruit 3 stars or worse for the entire rebuild. With a former quarterback legend as our coach, though, I want to create a QB factory at the University of Toronto. So this is the one position where I'll be able to recruit players over a 3-star rating, but there's no 5 stars interested. I still work to find us a couple prospects, though. Steve Nunn automatically locked us out. He also doesn't want to get his passport, come to Canada, so this is the one quarterback that we can go after. Alongside 4-star Madison Cleveland, we have a bunch of other 3-star prospects, some really interesting receivers I'd love to bring in, but there's no guarantees we're going to get any of these players. If we don't, we're in a little bit of trouble because as you can see, stuff like quarterback looks atrocious, the same for wide receiver, and I want to have an air raid offense. Just looking at our championship contender grade, we're rated all the way at the bottom of Division I football. But you know what? It is time to see how this Canadian team does in college football. Coach Mark Rypien says early mistakes are expected, but we're confident in this team ahead of the Open. Later in the season, this rain is definitely going to turn to snow, but you can already see we're just giving up everything. I mean, Eastern Michigan has done whatever they want offensively, and I'm afraid that in our season opener, we are going to have 0 success versus them. We might even have to take it as a win that we were able to score. This is much different than playing in the Canadian Football College League. And you know it's bad when a freshman quarterback is the one that dominates. It's safe to say that team morale is not too high, but this is a pleasant surprise. We needed a win like that because I know we're not about to beat now conference opponent Notre Dame. And when it comes to Madison Cleveland, we're in first place, but I'm not sure how we're going to hard sell him because pretty much all our school grades don't look good. If we weren't able to offer up playing time or pitch conference prestige to some of these players, we'd have no chance. But I'm hoping that if we can get Esteban to commit, that's an attractive enough receiving target, which should also make Cleveland come to our school. That's our rough plan at the moment, and after getting stomped 74-0 by Notre Dame, we're about to play our rivals for the first time. We might have created this rivalry out of thin air, but I'm excited to see how we do versus Buffalo. And all I can say was the first half was a miserable experience for us. We still haven't picked up a first down, but maybe it can happen here. Well, we were marked short, but we have to go for this. I just want to make some progress with this team at least. That's how bad things got for us in this game. We only made a field goal, that was it. And I'm sad to say that even with hard selling, we're just falling behind on Madison Cleveland. I've had to do a lot of scouting to find some new options, but Wayne Sanders has 90 speed. He could be interesting. There's a couple other 3-stars that are also gyms I want to go after. But then there is Shane Tangelo. He is the only 4-star quarterback still open to coming to the University of Toronto, and he also would have platinum field general as a freshman. That is one of the best abilities you can have as a quarterback, so I think what we need to do is make sure we get up to tier 3. This will allow us to put more hours into him every single week. I'm super hopeful that 65 hours will be enough for us to catch up to Memphis. And I think in everybody's minds, we're already going to go 0-12 this season, so there's no reason to keep up with this. It's just blowout loss after blowout loss. I mean, we made Purdue look like a superstar school. Luckily, it does seem like we're starting to pull away on Shane, but there are a couple receiver battles we've got to talk about. At least when it comes to Esteban, the 95 speed gym with takeoff, he's going to commit, but then Terrell Chambers, 6'5", 93 speed, I think Wake Forest is about to come back. He was a key piece I was hoping to bring in, but we're not going to, and that could affect whether or not we get Shane too. Now, in order to make sure I build a good roster in this rebuild, I can only hop into up to 3 regular season games a year. Not like that's going to help us against UMass, but it's the last potential game on our schedule where we might have a slight chance, and I'm also hoping that we get to play in the snow. We were bound to play in the snow at some point, being from Toronto, but we're going to be doing it on the road. And let me tell you, the expectations for this game are not high. Cassidy Barr's been terrible for us at quarterback. 4 touchdowns to 21 picks. And it might be best if I only allow him to run jet touch passes for us throughout this entire matchup. The longer this game goes on for, though, the worse it gets for us. We simply can't move the ball. And I wish I could tell you that at some point it got better for us, but we lost this one 40-0. Surprisingly to me, one of our tougher battles in this recruiting season is on a 2-star cornerback. And I think the race for Shane Tangelo is going to go to the transfer portal period because neither us or Memphis is gaining like any interest. I want him to start the quarterback factory at the University of Toronto, but how do you convince a kid to come to a school that just lost 69-0? I promise, the offensive stats are that bad. Cassidy Barr had 54 passing yards, 5 interceptions, and I really wanted to stay away from looking at our season stats because they're not going to get any better for any position out here. He was somehow our leading rusher. How do you average 0.6 yards per carry? I've never seen anything like that. There might be 1 or or two bright spots on this team. Asher Varner had the most receptions. But we need better talent in here immediately, and I'm actually not going to fire either of our coordinators. I'm hoping as we level up, both of them continue to progress. If you look at our DC, he's actually got a lot of stuff in recruiter. He's an elite recruiter. And bonuses like this could pay off big time in the future, even if we are only limited to mostly 3 stars. During conference championship week, we got the biggest news of the season. The 4-star Shane Tangelo has committed to the University of Toronto. And we all know we're at the bottom of the Big Ten standings, but what I wasn't expecting was Notre Dame in their first season in this conference beat Illinois in the conference championship. I might have made things too challenging, but I wanted to feel like a realistic rebuild, and Tulane winning it all is a shocker. When it comes to the players graduating, we're actually not losing that many players, not like the roster was any good anyway. And we have 6 players that are interested in transferring to our school, getting their passport, leaving the United States, and enrolling in Canada. I think that's the most challenging part about recruiting. We have to convince these guys to leave an economy that's far worse off than ours. If you thought life was too expensive in America right now, just wait till you get to Canada. And I think that's why we've lost more battles in the transfer portal period, even on a 1-star prospect, than I normally ever do in any of these rebuilds. We were able to sign 21 total players. It's going to give us the 69th best recruiting class. But so much for becoming a quarterback factory whenever this kid is 5'11", I just learned that, and he's also ranked below some of the 2-star transfers. We also have to see what type of depth traits we're working with on some of these players. I thought Cameron was going to be better than normal. Braden is an impact, but we have star on freshman transfer Levi Hartman. He's going to be our main tight end. Then we got star on Buck, the cornerback. We got star dev on Sidney Lama. I think he'll play defense or something. Star dev on the 95 speed wide receiver. But what are we getting on our 4-star quarterback? Impact. That hurts me to see, but Wayne Sanders, another quarterback option, wasn't any different, so I think he would be better off just playing running back for us. I'm actually pleasantly surprised to see how much some of the players on this roster have improved, but the biggest issue is most of them are seniors, so we're going to have them for a year. And overall wise, Shane Tangelo will be our second best player